What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what just came out associated to the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. Market's been open roughly an hour and a half. It is currently up 2.66%. A couple of things that is driving it higher, one of which is its own technicals. Like I've stated in my video yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be more technical driven. So that's one thing that's really driving it higher. Second point, SoFi actually did have some news this morning. So you can kind of see right here, SoFi to participate in upcoming investor conference. And this has been kind of one thing that I've been stating that they really needed to do. And it's been a while since they've done like a fireside chat. So this is going to be held on September the 9th at 11:30 with Anthony. Goldman Sachs is going to be hosting this. So I think this will really reinvigorate investors to get behind what SoFi is truly trying to do. So I think that's generally a very, very good thing. So let me know your thoughts on that. The reason why I wanted to do a kind of an earlier video, normally I do it near the tail end of the day, but there's a couple of things I wanted to bring up. One of which is what analysts have been doing and why they are a little bit more optimistic on SoFi. Point number two, I wanted to go over shorts, as what I typically do, but sometimes these scenarios they disappear very fast. So as of right now, shorts are returning 469,000 shares. So they kind of acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of good momentum and SoFi is poised to go higher, but 17.02% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 178.18 million shares. So I've been covering SoFi for, I don't even know how long, like 2 years, a year and a half on and off, but I don't think I've ever seen this kind of scenario happen. You see cost to borrow average negative 0.06 and also the minimum negative 0.2. And so normally the minimum is negative on and off, so meaning there is one broker out there physically paying people to short SoFi. But it looks like now more than one broker is kind of jumping on top of that, really trying to bring SoFi down, because like I said, the cost to borrow average is like, it's crazy to see that. The max being 0.82%. So meaning there is probably, just based on averaging, right, there has to be multiple different brokers all charging, or I guess paying people being negative, if that makes sense. So this is a very random scenario for a Monday, and it's kind of weird. So in my opinion, I think that they're trying to do this to really stimulate shorting, and of course to kill SoFi's momentum, because even on the technicals, it is looking very, very good that it will continue to break out. And that's typically the case. What does happen whenever it does stay above that 50-day moving average usually results in like a 20 to 30% run, as I've stated in the past. So I'm going to go over all of that. As of right now, a ton of money is getting into SoFi through options. 3.21 million in calls, 745,000 in puts. 54% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see consensus for it to be kind of in excess of 850. And like I've brought up in the past, typically the closest strike price, that's just shorts hedging, but at the same time, if it's anything higher than that, that is true optimism. So people are becoming more and more optimistic on SoFi. So I just wanted to kind of bring this up, and I don't know if it has some correlation with, for instance, what analysts have been doing. So I always like to look at ratings and what analysts are kind of giving for estimates. The estimates aren't really commonly known because they're kind of just random or whatever, unless the analyst does voluntarily disclose that. But looking at earnings per share, so it did go from 3 cents to now 4 cents, and it went from 14 analysts to 12 analysts, meaning 2 analysts, which were bears, did kind of withdraw their estimates. So analysts are becoming a little bit more optimistic on SoFi in the foreseeable future for their upcoming Q3 earnings. Same goes for Q4 and whatever else. Even looking at the revenue, analysts are becoming a little bit more optimistic. So it did go from 11 to 9. So once again, those 2 bearish analysts did remove their ratings, and it went from 607 to 631 million estimated for Q3. So like I said, I think that is very, very good and might be correlated possibly to interest rates, even though that won't really affect Q3 exactly, that would probably affect Q4 going forward. But still, I think generally speaking, analysts are becoming a little bit more optimistic on SoFi. And this is the current open interest. So you do have right now for this week's chain, August the 30th, 13,000 at that 7, then 27,000 at that 750. And so, like I've already brought up in many videos, typically the first couple days, so Monday and Tuesday, this does go up by like 40%. So you might have a little bit of a battle essentially at that 750 come Friday. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully SoFi does continue this good momentum, because on the technicals, the next stop essentially is $7.98. So definitely watch for that. That's going to be the next strong target / resistance. Next strong support is going to be this point right here. So that is right here. So that's $7.57. So I'm looking at the 4-hour chart for that. So I think, like I said, big money is really looking at SoFi. And is getting in on SoFi through both call options, common stock, and many other things. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. What's your thoughts, for instance, on this right here? So clear signs of manipulation, not necessarily just from one broker, but now from multiple. So I don't know, maybe they sense that SoFi is on the verge of breaking out, and so they're trying to suppress it. So let me know your thoughts on that kind of bullshit. With all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and with all that, appreciate all of you watching.